Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to part 3 of the review for Psychic Awakening, part 5, The Greater Good. Part 1, I've done the full rules for the Tau in that video. Part 2 is Astra, Militarum, and part 3 is the Genestealer Cults. That's what we're going to focus in on this video here. Check out gamingfigures.com, they're the channel sponsors for discount 40k. Special thanks to Games Workshop for sending me a copy of this book ahead of time as well. So, as I said, check out the previous 2 videos for those factions. I thought I'd break it down just to make it easier for everyone to access relevant information. Tau got some great bonuses, some great experimental weaponry. Astra Militarum with the tank cases, and some pretty good rules actually for the regimental doctrines as well. I think both faction players are going to be happy with that. But now Genestealer Cults. I don't collect these, but the models are incredible, and Genestealer Cult players, they've been rewarded. They released an initial batch of units, and then in more recent times Games Workshop released a load more units as well, like these buggies and bikers and so on. Incredibly good models. So yeah, models wise, Genestealer Cult's fantastic now, and a real standalone army. It used to be so we had to paint a lot of sort of Astra Militarum vehicles and so on and just mark them up for Genestealer Cults. You don't have to do that as much now because there's a massive range of amazing miniatures for the Genestealer Cults, and for what I'm told, a very challenging and different play style for them, those that use Genestealer Cults armies. I haven't played against them yet actually, so maybe something we'll see in the future. So the lurkers beneath, straight onto the rules here for the Genestealer Cults. So this is a full review. I'm going to call out all the information for you just to give you the full update. It is a Tactica as well, so give me my own comments and feedback. Kind of limited because I don't collect the faction, but there'll be rules that I'll be able to comment on for sure. So there's an errata here, some corrections taking place. There's cult creeds. So that presents rules for creating your own cult creeds, similar to your own regimental doctrines for the Astra Militarum, creating your own Tau Sept as well. There's combinations you can go for with that. New stratagems which we'll check out. Cult psychic powers as well. There's new psychic powers for them, and there's a name generator also. So here's the errata then. So Cult Ambush. Presented here are 2 rules from Codex Genestealer Cults reprinted to include the latest updates and errata. So it's Brood Brothers has been updated, and then Cult Ambush as well. So Genestealer Cults play meticulously before rising up against their oppressors, remaining hidden until the moment of ascension arrives. So it's all this sort of ambush style play, which I imagine is great fun and a challenge as well to execute properly. During deployment you can set up this unit in ambush. So if the unit's got the Cult Ambush ability, during deployment you can set up this unit in ambush instead of on the battlefield. If this unit has the infantry or biker keywords, you can either set it up in ambush or underground instead of on the battlefield. When you set up a unit underground, it can emerge at the end of any of your movement phases, set the unit up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So it's like a deep strike if you're going on underground. When you set up a unit in ambush, place one ambush marker anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within your deployment zone. You will need one ambush marker for each unit that will deploy in this way. If you set up a transport model in ambush, you must still tell your opponent what units are embarked within it when it's set up in ambush. Do not set up separate ambush markers for units at the start of the battle embarked within a transport model, even if they have the Cult of Ambush ability. So, straightforward enough. Ambush markers are not units and cannot be targeted, attacked or destroyed. When measuring to or from ambush markers, always measure to the centre of the marker. And if you are playing a mission that uses concealed deployment, the concealed deployment rules only apply to units that do not have the Cult Ambush ability. If you're playing a mission that uses sentries, sentry models cannot be set up in ambush even if they have the Cult Ambush ability. Matched play. In matched play, units set up in ambush using this rule count as being set up on the battlefield for the purposes of tactical reserves. Right, so that's that rule where half your army at least has to be on the table. So that's clarifying that. Revealing ambush markers. If you have the first turn, you must reveal all of your ambush markers at the start of your movement phase, one at a time, before moving any units. Each time you reveal an ambush marker, select one unit from your army that was set up in ambush, then set up one model from that unit within an inch of that ambush marker. So you don't have to allocate a specific unit to a specific marker, you can do that as you reveal the markers here. So a good bit of flexibility. So you have to set up one model from that unit within an inch of the ambush marker, then remove that marker before setting up the rest of that model's unit, wholly within 6 inches of the first model, wholly within your deployment zone, and more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. Any models that cannot be placed are destroyed. If it is your turn, that unit can still move and shoot normally during the turn it was set up, but if it is a transport, units that embarked or units that disembark from this turn cannot set up within 9 inches of enemy models. Note that unless these units actually move during this movement phase, they do not count as having moved in the movement phase for any rules purposes such as shooting heavy weapons. That's useful as well. So you can sit still and you won't count as moving. Which makes sense. You have ambushed, you stand still, and then the ambush is revealed. You don't have to move. If your opponent has the first turn, then none of their units can be set up or end a move within 9 inches of any of your ambush markers. Interesting. The end of your movements, even flyers. Okay, at the end of your opponent's first movement phase, after they've set up all their units from reinforcements, if any, reveal all of your ambush markers as described above before continuing with the turn. So, straightforward enough. Very unique playstyle here for the Genestealer cults. Brood Brothers. Several Genestealer cults units also have the Brood Brothers keyword. These units can be included in a Genestealer cult's detachment without preventing other units in that detachment from gaining a cult creed. Note, however, that Brood Brothers units do not themselves benefit from any cult creed. In addition to represent Astra Militarum forces that have been subverted, you can also include Astra Militarum units and Genestealer cults units in the same matched play army, even though these units do not have any faction keywords in common. In such cases, ignore the Astra Militarum units when choosing your army's faction, so you can draw on units from Astra Militarum Codex. If your army's battle forged, you can only include one Astra Militarum detachment, one in which every unit has the Astra Militarum keyword in your army for each Genestealer cult's detachment in that army. You cannot include Astra Militarum named characters in these detachments. Yeah, you can't take Creed, for example. And these detachments cannot be specialist detachments. These Astra Militarum detachments are then known as Brood Brothers detachments, and every unit in them that has the regiment's Militarum Tempestus keyword must replace it in every instance on its datasheet with Brood Brothers. Still make keywords there. Brood Brothers detachments do not gain any of the detachment abilities listed in Codex Astra Militarum, obviously, such as regimental doctrines and so on. Furthermore, in orders it's talking about stratagems. Furthermore, infantry models in Brood Brothers detachments increase their leadership characteristic by 1, and they gain the unquestioning loyalty ability, which is in the rules for that are in the Genestealer Cults Codex. Units in Brood Brothers detachments do not gain the Cult Ambush ability. Your Warlord cannot be from a Brood Brothers detachment, and you cannot give any relics to Brood Brothers characters. In addition, the command benefits of all Brood Brothers detachments included in your army in this way are halved. Rounding up, this reflects that such detachments not a Genestealer cult's primary fighting force, and the acquisition of such military assets is costly in terms of resource. The command benefits of auxiliary support detachments are unaffected. Orders. Brood Brothers units have the voice of command, or tank orders abilities. cannot issue orders to any unit that has the Genestealer Cults faction keyword, nor can they issue orders to units that would not have been able to issue orders to before they gained the Brood Brothers keyword. For example, a Brood Brothers company commander cannot issue orders to a Brood Brothers Ogryn unit or a Brood Brothers Tempestos Scions unit. Transport. Brood Brothers Tyranids Prime can only transport 10 Brood Brothers Officio Prefectus infantry models or 10 infantry models that replace their Militarum Tempestus keyword with Brood Brothers. So, clarification, I don't suppose there's too much change, but that's all clarified now here. So, instead of re-releasing all the codexes, Games Workshop have done it this way. And, you know, it's small books, but they're moving the story along and updating all the factions at the same time. So I can't see really what the problem is. Instead of republishing 3 new codexes, and no doubt still bringing out a book moving the story along, they've just lumped the whole thing together. So I can't see much of a problem with it. It's a bit annoying, you know, they bring out extra rules and so on, so now you're going to need your original codex, Tau Codex for example, then have this book as well referring to it, but rules and so on move on, so there's not much that can be done. But Cult Creeds here, let's see, so you got your, let's see what kind of combos. It's probably going to be 2. Yeah, selecting 2 of the rules, so you can pick 2 and go for a combo here. And this will help, you know, you're building a certain theme. It's like a buggy and biker themed Genestealer Cult time, which I'd find quite appealing. You can maybe take some upgrades or some creeds here that would give some buffs and bonuses to that kind of build. Hunter's Instincts is the first one. At the end of the first battle round, add 1 to advance and charge rolls made for units of this cult creed. That's excellent. Immediately, that's a really good one. Innate Fighters. Resolve an attack made by a melee weapon with a model of a cult creed. With this cult creed, on a turn in which made a charge move was charged or performed during intervention, you can reroll 1s. Get rolls of 1. Thralls of the Patriarch. When morale test is taken for a unit of this cult creed, halve the number of models that flee. That's okay. Seasoned Enforcers. Infantry models of this cult creed do not suffer the penalty of moving firing heavy weapons. That's very useful. Agile Outriders. Biker models with this cult creed do not suffer the penalty of moving and firing heavy weapons. Very useful. And do not suffer the penalty for advancing and firing assault weapons. Wow, that's really, really good. It's a big reward there if you're going to go for sort of the mobile buggy biker style force. Armor piercing ammunition. Resolve an attack made by an auto pistol, auto gun, or heavy stubber by a model in this cult creed against a unit within half range. You get an extra AP -1. Munitions experts have 1 to strength characteristic of grenade weapons this cult creed are equipped with. Okay, unnatural symbiosis. When a psychic test is taken for a cult model with this cult creed within 6 inches of another cult unit, you can reroll any dice rolls of 1. And their workers arisen. When resolve an attack made by a weapon from the heavy mining weapons list, see the codex, a model of this cult creed, you can reroll the hit roll. That's pretty good as well, reroll hit rolls, nice. Then devout worshippers, when a charge roll is made for a cult unit of this cult creed whilst within 3 inches of a friendly cult hybrid metamorphs unit, you can reroll the dice. This cult creed cannot be selected together with the Hunter's Instincts cult creed. And the last one, Poisoned Blades. Looking to get more into close combat. I love the I actually really like the purple markings here on this. Just a little splash of colour. So mostly grey going on here with this colour scheme, and then a splash of colour, this purple. I really like that actually. Looks really good actually. I can imagine that'll paint up quite nicely. Quick colour scheme here on the tank, and that splash of colour. And the uniform on these guardsmen here looks great as well. And I'm just thinking about James's guard. I could do a Genestealer Cult guard army to fight against his guard. Oh dear, that'd be a good game, I reckon. But that's a good colour scheme. That one. Resolve an attack made with a bone sword, a lash whip and bone sword, or a cultist knife model this cult creed, an unmodified hit roll of 6. You can make an additional attack against the same unit using the same weapon. This additional attack cannot generate another attack. So bonus attacks coming through, which is helpful enough. But no, it just caught my eye. I was just thinking about that And it's like a... It's not straight purple, it's a pinky purple almost. You have to try and match that as precisely as possible. Alright, maybe you've got, and if you fancy something different, you can maybe go for something like, so you've got an old guard army, it's buried away somewhere, it's gathering dust, you're bored of playing Astra Militarum, everyone at your club uses Astra Militarum, it's all caddy and stuff, then just get them out of your cupboard, dust them down, give them a respray, and then convert them over to Genestealer cults. And then playing in different, and then buy a few units from the Genestealer cults collection. You don't have to get an entire army of them, just get a few units just to add in the flavour, and then away you go, and you've got a completely different style of play. And instead of joining the ranks of your Astra Militarum friends, you can now fight against them. Yeah, this is purple theme, continue on. I do like the original standard colour scheme for Genestealer cults as well. I do like, but some treacherous guard painted up like that would fit in. This is the problem when I do these reviews, I start getting tempted. Okay, let's hope the rules are rubbish here and then I don't have to, it'll put me off from starting to collect these. So we're searching for golden nugget stratagems here. So prepared ambush, 1 command point. And again, seems to be the pattern, these are all 1 command point apart from this one. All the others nice and cheap. Prepared ambush. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one neophyte hybrid unit from your army that was set up on the battlefield using the cult ambush ability in this battle round. To the end of that phase, auto guns models in the unit to equip with have a type characteristic of Assault 2. So if you need it, it's there. Annihilating advance. On command point, use a stratagem in your charge phase. When a Goliath rock grinder unit from your army finishes a charge move, select one infantry unit within an inch of that unit and roll 1d6 on a 2+. The enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Yep. Maybe you slam into some super tough character and you can get some easy mortal wounds inflicted. But yeah, helpful enough, that one. Definitely. Integrated Vox Net. This is 2 command points. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Select one Jackal Alphas model from your army. At the end of that phase, replace that model's top priority target sighted ability with the following. Vox Contact. At the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 36 and visible to the model. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a friendly cult model against that unit whilst that model is within 18 inches of this model. Add 1 to the hit roll. An enemy unit can only be selected as the target of this ability or the target priority or the priority target sight ability once per phase. Then close range shootout. All of these are 1 command point now. All of them. So close range shootout, sounds good. Use a stratagem in your shooting phase when an Atalan Jackals unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a pistol or assault weapon by model in that unit against an enemy unit within 12 inches. You can re-roll the wound roll. Yeah, helpful enough these, not utterly devastating, but these are quite helpful, these stratagems. Violence Unleashed. Use a stratagem in the fight phase when a hybrid metamorphs unit from your army is chosen to fight with. At the end of that phase, add 1 to the attacks characteristic of the models in that unit. Again, another sort of helpful one. Commanding Amplification. Use a stratagem before the battle. Select one Clamavus model from your army. The range of that model's Proclamator Hailer ability is increased by 3. The same model cannot be selected by the stratagem more than once per battle. Yeah, I do need to get familiar with the rules for these, because otherwise I'll get caught out if I do come up against them. The Gnarled Fist. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select one Abominant unit from your army. That unit's the Chosen One ability affects friendly cult aberrant units within 9 inches of the unit instead of 6. You can use this stratagem once per battle. Raking Fire, 1 command point. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase. Select one Achilles Ridge Runners unit from your army until the end of the turn. Resolve an attack made by a heavy stub by a model in that unit. Add 1 to the hit roll and the wound roll. The Cult's Psyche. Use the stratagem before the battle. Select one Cult Magus unit from your army. That unit can attempt to manifest 1 additional psychic power in your psychic phase. Again, it's another helpful stratagem. When a psychic test is taken for that unit, add 1 to the total for each other friendly Cult Psychic unit within 3 inches to a maximum of 3+. You can only use the stratagem once per battle. Slipping Through the Shadows. Use a stratagem in your movement phase when a Sanctus unit is chosen to move. At the end of that phase, when that unit advances, add 6 to its move characteristic until that phase instead of making an advance roll. In addition, At the end of the turn, this unit can be chosen to charge with even if it advanced. Wow, very helpful. So guaranteed 6-inch advance and you're able to charge. That's a very helpful stratagem if you need it. It's only 1 command point. Genetic lineage. Use your stratagem in the charge phase. Select one acolyte hybrid unit from your army. At the end of that phase, that unit can be chosen to charge with even if it advances this turn. And again, another helpful one. So they're giving help to specific units here, and I guess little stratagems to try and reflect the style of each unit to amplify what each unit's abilities are. So it's fine. Evasive driving. Use your stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase when a Goliath rock grinder or Goliath truck unit from your army is chosen as the target of an attack with a ranged weapon. At the end of that phase, weapons with an armor penetration characteristic of -1 or -2 are treated as having armor penetration characteristic of 0. So yeah, pretty good. Overcharged weaponry. Use your stratagem in your shooting phase when a cult unit from your army is chosen to shoot with. At the end of that phase, resolve an attack made by a clearance incinerator, heavy mining laser or heavy seismic cannon by model in that unit, add 1 to the wound roll. And then the Heart of the Creed. Use this stratagem before the battle. Select one Primaris model from your army. When that model is set up on the battlefield for the first time, you can select one additional enemy unit for that model's meticulous planner ability. You can only use this stratagem once per battle. There it is. So, psychic powers now. Okay, so it looks like one additional psychic power. There's the name generator just there. So it's just gonna be these here. Yeah, so it looks like some psychic powers being granted to particular creeds, cults within that cult here. All cult psycho models can know the psychic power of their respective cult. Instead of generating a psychic power from the Broodmind discipline, see Genestealer Cults Codex, a cult psychic can instead know the appropriate cult psychic power from the list below. So Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor here, Undermine this is called. Undermine has a warp charge value of 8, so difficult enough. If manifested, select one enemy infantry unit within 18 inches of the psychic, and to the start of the next psychic phase, halve the movement characteristic of models in that unit, and halve any advance or charge rolls. So if it goes off, yeah, very helpful if you're trying to slow down a particular enemy unit. The Hive Cult, Synaptic Blast. Synaptic Blast has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. Roll a number of d6 equal to the number of Hive Cult models from your army within 3 inches of that unit. For each roll of a 6, it's a mortal wound. Bladed Cog, Undying Vigour, has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one Bladed Cog unit from your army within 12 inches of the Psyker. To the start of your next Psyker phase, when a model in that unit would lose a wound, that's 5+, feel no pain. So yeah, helpful. The Rusted Claw, Inescapable Decay, has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy vehicle unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. To the end of the turn, and resolve an attack made by a weapon against that unit, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that weapon by 1. So AP 0 becomes AP -1. The Pauper Princes, the Last Gasp, has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one Pauper Princes unit from your army within 12 inches of the Psyker. To the start of your next psychic phase, when the model in that unit is destroyed, roll 1d6 before removing the model from play. On 4+, that model can either shoot with one of its ranged weapons as if it were the shooting phase, or make an attack with one of its melee weapons as if it were the fight phase. Yeah, pretty good that one actually. Expecting unit to be shot down, you've got a half a chance of firing off the weapons, that's useful. The Twisted Helix, Mutagenic Deviation, so warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy infantry unit within 12 inches of the Psyker. To the start of your next psychic phase, resolve an attack made by a melee weapon by a Twisted Helix model from your army against that unit, add 1 to the wound roll. Just there. So overall, I would say stratagems then, just like psychic powers seem helpful enough, a good broad spread of helpful stratagems. So I wouldn't say, some of the other ones I've looked at, like for the town, the guard, there's some real gold nuggets there, and there's others that you probably wouldn't bother using, but I think there's a lot here for the Genestealer cults that are just useful, and they're 1 command point each, so some good enhancements there, and some enhancements to help out specific units. as well. And there's some pretty good ones from these cult creeds as well. Like that one there, Agile Outriders. No penalty for moving and firing heavy weapons. No penalty for advancing and firing assault weapons. Excellent. So, and then just the rules corrections just there. Genestealer cults. I don't have an army. I would like to collect them maybe one day, we'll see. I'm running 15, 16 armies at the moment, so it's a big decision to to get another army. But it's not, I don't have them, it's not because of the rules or the models. The models are utterly amazing. There's some incredible models for the Genestealer cults. And as I suggested earlier on, maybe an Imperial player and you're a bit bored, then you could dust off an old Astra Militarum Cadian collection and then just give them a fresh lick of paint, or even just splash some colours over them just to mark them up for Genestealer cults, and away you go, and cause havoc against other Imperial players. But that's the review for the Genestealer cults update here for part 5 of the Psychic Awakening, the Greater Good. Check out parts 1 and 2. Part 1's the Tower, part 2 is the Astra Militarum. Full review in Tactica for those sections of the book as well. Gamingfigures.com, check them out for discount 40k and other gaming systems. And thanks to Games Workshop for sending me this ahead of time to make a review. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.